Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, members of the Board of Governors, faculty, staff, special guests, for joining us today. And of course, the most important people, those sitting before us at the stage, they're graduates. Before we get started, though, I'd also like to take this opportunity to note that this convocation ceremony, as Carl indicated, is his first convocation ceremony as chair of the Board of Governors. Carl was first appointed to the Board of Governors in 2010 and was designated the board chair this past January. Carl is the President and Chief Executive Officer of Fortis Alberta Incorporated, and prior to this he held the position of President and Chief Executive Officer of Newfoundland Power Incorporated from 2004 to 2007. He currently serves as Chair of the Canadian Electricity Association. He serves on the board of Belize Electricity Limited, Caribbean Utilities Company, and Junior Achievement of Southern Alberta. He's also served as a member of the Advisory Board in the Faculty of Business Administration at Memorial University in Newfoundland and Labrador. Thank you, Carl, for your support of Mount Royal, your contributions to the board, and for being our wonderful MC, and hopefully for many more years to come. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Carl in this new capacity. I'm honored to be here on this day, in this celebration. Convocation is one of my favorite days of the year. In fact, it's the convocation season is my favorite season of the year. A special time to honor those among us who have reached this incredible accomplishment. It is also time to reflect upon the journey you've taken thus far, each and every one of you, and a time for you to look fondly into the future, and I can assure you many great opportunities await. I'm thrilled to have the opportunity and the honor of shaking hands with each and every one of you today as you carry on your experience and walk from one side of the stage to the other. This is a fun day. Let's make it a fun day. And so often at these type of ceremonies, people sit in their hands and very, a little bit of applause until we get past the anthropologists and who start off because of their first in the alphabet, and then they feel bad because by the time the history folks get up, people are dancing and cheering. So let's make it a fun day. Let's make it a good day, a day of celebration. It's a day to enjoy yourselves, to revel in the pride of your accomplishments. And the struggles, think about the struggles you went through to go here, you went through to get here today. It is a chapter, for your story is far from told. But if we've done our job well at Mount Royal, and I truly believe we have, then MRU will be a part of that story as your journey continues. It is the base that will always be connected to where you go from the future. You will think back in your days here, both in fondness, but also when tackling a problem or a new challenge. I truly hope that one of the many lasting legacies MRU instills upon you, one of them is this. When facing a new challenge, 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, what is it that you learned at MRU? Whether from a talk with a professor, whether it was working on a group project with a team for a course, what was it that you learned at MRU that has nothing to do with the challenge you're facing that day, that you can turn back to and say, here's the skill set I learned that will get me through this challenge. I was reading a global trends report from KMPG, and they listed 10 jobs that didn't exist 10 years ago. You've come to university, and you will have a job 10 years from now that doesn't exist today. Simply telling you facts and figures is not going to help you in a job that doesn't exist yet. But the critical thinking skills, the communication skills, the ability to solve problems, the ability to communicate, to talk, to read, to think things through, to take things from large problems to small ones that you can accomplish, that's the skill set that will make you a success in a job 10 years from now that you have not been able to train for because it does not exist. As you proudly wear your caps and gowns, you represent a long connection to a long tradition of what higher education is truly about, the pursuit of knowledge, and that is something you should all be proud of. Congratulations, graduates, this is your day. But I'm sure you didn't make this journey alone. Your loved ones made many sacrifices for you to get here. They've been with you through many of the stages of your educational journey. Now, even though you may owe your family, your friends, and even acquaintances for their continuous support, they were not likely to ask you to pay them back directly, with the possible exception of the bank of mom and dad, but I'll leave that conversation for a family discussion. If, however, you can give the same type of support to others who are on this journey, And that's a true test of what it is to be a remarkable citizen. To all the parents, guardians, spouses, friends, relatives who join us today, you should feel very proud about the accomplishments of the students sitting in front of us. And when I say proud, I appreciate there's many different types of pride. Some of you, as parents, have gone to university, and you know what it's like, although you might not appreciate the difference of what university was like when you were a student and when these are students. And as a father of someone at Dalhousie University, I came to know firsthand the difference of what it's like. There may be some of you who've never been to university, and you might not understand what they're going through, but you still are very proud of all they've accomplished. I would ask all of you on the floor to rise, please. I want you to turn to the people that are here with you today, who helped get you here, and I want you to give them a round of applause because they certainly deserve it. That's great. Thank you. Of course, there's another group of very important people I'd like to acknowledge as well. When I talked about the importance of the skill set you learn and the transferable skills, communication skills, you wouldn't have gotten that at an institution that does not place teaching as a priority as a post-secondary education. And so I want all of us to recognize those on the floor and those in the crowd, the faculty members who've been such an important and critical part of your experience at Mount Royal. We are truly blessed to have the best faculty in the country who see it as their goal is to make you better citizens and prepared in any walk of life you choose. So thank you, faculty. And speaking of which, Lee, who is retiring, thank you very much. And I'd also like to recognize Jane Drover, who's also retiring today, at the end of this year, for her many, many contributions to Mount Royal University. Thank you very much. Many of you are probably wondering, what's next? What happens next? Where do I go from here? Well, I can't answer that question for you specifically, but I can do my best to provide some insight that I hope will find of use to you as you embark upon your next journey. I once knew a chancellor at a different institution that did a great job of reminding us on these days, on convocation days, and I can quote him and say, "Congratulations, this is your day. Revel in it. But remember, not every day is going to be your day. There will be ups and downs, just as there were peaks and valleys throughout your time at Mount Royal. There will be peaks and valleys in your professional, personal, and social careers. The peaks are pretty darn easy. Let's have fun in the peaks. Today's a peak. Let's have fun. Let's revel in it. Let's thank those who helped get us here. But remember, the true testament of what you've gained here is what you do during the valleys. Because if you can stand up, as the song says, I get knocked down, I get back up again. If you can stand up, brush yourself off, and walk and say, there is a peak ahead, and what I learned from my friends, my family, my instructors, from everybody in my time at Mount Royal, I know I can be back in that peak. Then we will have done our job, and you can do that. So remember the good times, but remember, there are some times when there's a bit of a valley. And the true testament of what you can do is to recognize when others are in that valley and what you can do to support them as they move ahead. This year, it is my hope that Mount Royal continues to play a role in your lives for years to come. You're our newest group of alumni. It is important to remember that universities are not just places from which you graduate, never to return. It's a place which ideally you forge a lifelong connection. This year, for the first time, we had an exciting new adventure. We introduced the 2014 Grad Class Gift, a brand new way for graduating students to leave their mark at Mount Royal by supporting the next group of incoming students by donating $20.14. See, 2014, $20.14. Now, I haven't spoken to the development office because I don't know if they round that up if you pay cash, or so 2016, it's actually 2015, 2 years from now. But anyway, so I'm very proud to congratulate you. This is a new tradition, and we've been able to, as we did it in the starting year, very proud that we have 3 $1,000 bursary scholarships for students next year. So thank you for your contribution in starting this legacy at Mount Royal. Right now, I'm sure you can't wait for a change of scenery and for me to get down and you to cross the stage. But let me just leave you with this. I truly believe that universities, and Mount Royal in particular, is not just in the business of creating smarter people. We do that. But you're very smart to begin with. But our real job is to create better citizens and engage you as citizens. And today, this rite of passage is just one important element of citizenship you will take on. If we have engaged you, inspired learning, and fed your intellectual curiosity, then I feel we have done our job to this point. I hope you all leave today as members of a broader community, and by that I mean reaching out and engaging fellow Albertans, Calgarians, Canadians, and people in the world on the smallest and the largest of issues. On behalf of everyone at Mount Royal University, I want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to play a role in helping you become the extraordinary citizens you are today and the contributing citizens you will be in the future. Congratulations and thank you.